Marieke, thank you so much for joining us here at FF News' coverage of the Paris Fintech Forum Leadership Summit. How are you?
Yeah, really good. What about you?
Absolutely brilliant. Loving life here in Paris because we have such a brilliant event here. How have you enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, so far so good. Look, I just got here and I was listening to some of the panel and conversations, and it's really all about like innovation and how to navigate, and so far so good.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Now, could you tell our viewers a bit more about yourself and the NEAR Foundation, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the CEO of the NEAR Foundation, and the NEAR Foundation looks after the ecosystem that is built upon NEAR technology. And what is NEAR technology? NEAR technology is blockchain technology. So we build what we call a blockchain operating system, which enables anyone to choose the level of decentralization they want, whether it's just the layer one, the fundamental, or whether it's the front end.
That's absolutely incredible. I mean, we've been talking about this technology, not that technology, but the kind of decentralized technology for years. But I think there's been an apprehension to it because people think they're going to go all the way in. But this approach looks like the traditional institutions can get involved too and see how they go, right?
What has been happening over the years is actually usability is absolutely fundamental for anyone, right?
True.
If you're a financial institution or if you're an enterprise and you actually want to start participating into blockchain ecosystem or decentralization, how you do that. And I think it's exactly what you said, is the ability to actually choose where you want to start your journey on that. Is it actually something that's very back-end or something that's very front-end is actually fundamental. But also usability for your users to have something that is seamless, because the reality is today, when you look at what we do in Web2, we don't think about, are we on Google Cloud or Amazon? Doesn't matter. Right?
Yeah. I mean, having that kind of ability to be agnostic is so critical for institutions, because you can't just put all your money into something and then suddenly have to change and go through some of the very painful legacy process changes that they did before. So what is the upshot? What is the real buzzword beating opportunities that can come with this?
Well, the buzzword beating opportunity is, and we see that day in, day out, every enterprise today has actually a chief metaverse officer or like a team looking at what to do with Web3. And the key word that actually comes is interoperability. Because in blockchain, there's been over the many years, many different blocks and things that have been built, but very often some of those don't actually intercommunicate with each other. And the beauty of the blockchain operating system is that, again, it doesn't matter what you choose, but you can actually bring and take the different pieces of what you need.
Right. Absolutely brilliant. And how's that going to play when it comes to banks being able to mitigate risk and go from there?
Well, I think, and that's what actually one of the panel that was discussing that. At the end of the day, what banks also are craving today is like the best user experience, right? And what users are asking today is like, okay, when it's my money, can I make sure that it's really my money, right? We've seen it again in the US with some recent events. And I think that premise fundamentally means rethinking also like our traditional banking model. Number two, money today is actually many different things, right? You can own assets, which could be art or which could actually be property. And all of that has the potential to actually be tokenized and somewhere somehow be on blockchain. And so if you're a bank today, I think thinking through what does this new technology mean and actually how you embed that for your users, I think that's really the way to go.
I think it's going to be absolutely incredible, because a lot of users are actually clamoring for technologies that the banks themselves are still struggling to implement. We're finally seeing the customers demand things from their bank. So as we mentioned, we're here at the Paris Fintech Forum Leadership Summit. Are you speaking here today or tomorrow?
Yes, I'm speaking tomorrow. And I'm also doing actually a masterclass on blockchain, Web3, crypto, what is it all about, and why should actually people care? I
mean, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And with that in mind, where do you see this intersection of all these technologies coming together on Web 3.0?
Yeah, I think we are living a very interesting moment because, digitalization has been massively accelerated with COVID, and we get out of that. And not only do you have fundamental things that have been built, yes, on blockchain technology, but you also have a massive rise of AI. And I think actually you can't distinguish all the different things and say, well, I just have a digital strategy, or I just have a blockchain strategy, or I just have an AI strategy. The reality is that all of that will merge, and we are starting to see that. In one way, blockchain can be a confirmation layer of things that actually happen in AI. And so I think that's the challenge for any leaders in fintech or in finance actually today, to think through what does it mean and how do you actually drive forward your institutions.
Isn't that brilliant how, one of the biggest, not failures, but sticking points of artificial intelligence used in finances, you still need someone that can look after it, make sure that the ledger is still proper, because you cannot risk that being detracted. So can we explore that notion of AI being used in finance alongside blockchain? How is AI going to help payments, for instance?
Yeah, well, so AI, I think we're just starting to scratch the surface of what it can do, but the reality is that it can actually accelerate tasks that maybe were taking more time. Sure. It can also, like, you can query it to actually have better insights, right? So today, your finance manager that was giving you insights into what you could do with your money, the reality is like maybe AI can actually do better things. Now, how do we actually trace truth from things that might not be actually true? That's very important. And so one of the roles that, for example, blockchain could play is if you can record and timestamp where things come from, then you have that ledger of truth that is actually embedded and engraved. So that's one possibility. I think other things that will be very interesting to see how it plays, in particular with AI, is today a lot of the systems we see are very closed. And so that means that actually we are in a very, very centralized world. And that's a little bit almost at odds with some of the things we see in blockchain, which are extremely decentralized and very open, right? At Near, we are big believers in open source. We think that's what will win. I think we've seen recently use cases that actually anything that's not open source, your users are craving and asking for you to put it open source. So I think that will definitely be interesting also to see how it plays.
I definitely think that's going to be a huge, steep innovation curve coming up the back of that. But thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure getting your insights on a topic that is very hard to digest, but you've managed it perfectly. So thank you so much.
Thank you. You're too kind. Thanks.